next period. Sorry, just got up. Let's see what's been done. Alright. Now, let's have a look at what's going on. Okay. Linux Joe's coming along. And I'll take a few more cycles, I think. Alright. This is intended for people to listen to. Hi. Yeah, sorry, like I said, I just got up. Why do I feel like this? Okay. Alright. Just fix it. Alright, next. So, yeah. Linux Joe. The new factories, basically. I'm making up a new city that's going to be dedicated to electronics manufacturing. This is actually going to be my first proper city in here. First thing I need to do is set up the infrastructure for construction. One of the reasons I haven't built a city yet is I was looking to gather up resources better. So different facilities that don't really perform more than simple tasks was not worth it yet. I've built some of these pretty big, but at this point they're not quite effective anymore. This is why I got a computer center built last cycle. Nervous is what I'm going to be calling it. I've got some stuff in it already to control and monitor parts of my processes, but this will be much more efficient. I've been relying on local intelligence to do a lot of things, but that has limitations. It becomes really complicated to do everything locally and then get the information. Long story short, it becomes easier in the long run to do more controlled, more centralized control once you start sprawling out more. I'm building that right now, close to the landing site actually, and very close to the nuclear processing. There's two reasons for this. First of all, there's the always interesting part of making something much more permanent and useful close to the landing site. It's just fun. Second, the things I'm going to be replacing electronics is the only thing left around there. That's done in the old-fashioned way, if you would, in Generation 3 train factories. But I'm going to be moving away from those. That's kind of the point of the entire process I'm working on right now. That and moving the forges from the previous setup. Actually, doing the forges is part of getting the electronics working better. But that's going to free up a lot of already prepared space with nice foundations. So I'll be moving a lot of things in there that are never going to move again. The data center is the main part of that. The nuclear processing is the design I've been using for a while. It overshoots production by very large margins on anything I need from it, so I'm not even worried about running out of any products in there for a long time. Having it close to the data center will also make it easier to switch the controls from it to the data center. It's going to get its own pod in there just because it's nuclear stuff. But mainly, I want both nuclear and the central computer to be power independent. I don't want them to rely on nuclear power plants, just in case I stop taking care of it for a bit and it overshoots. This is probably going to happen in what I'm working on right now. So I don't want the central facility to rely on nuclear power. I don't want to have power problems there ever. So that requires two things: a lot of solar panels and a lot of batteries, because you want a renewable source of energy in that case. They're not quite as efficient space-wise, and they are a really huge pain in the ass to properly set up and everything. But if your power consumption is not going to change much, which is going to be the case for these things, it's really nice to not have to worry about fuel at all, especially when it's what's making the fuel for everything else. Sucks when you run out of power and then you run out of fuel because you don't have enough power to make your fuel. So I'll be building a large solar array very close to it and separating it from the main power system. In order to do that properly, it's going to be a bit of a pain. Right now I'm relying on very loose standards as far as my rails go. I'm going to have to go away from that. So, but at the same time, moving what I'm moving right now is basically moving everything. The electronics is all that's left in what I was doing before. I need to move that away. There's a bit of petroleum products being made, which I'm actually also going to move. Not move, I've made a second one already. I'm going to be using that blueprint again to do petroleum from now on. It works well, it provides plenty of everything I need as far as I can tell. I'm probably not even have to move the plastic out of it. It makes a surprising amount. Surprisingly quickly. The local plastic factory can actually manage to outstrip the production of petroleum gas. So that's always interesting. Locally. Plastic's what I really use that stuff for when you look into it. Oh, I got train problems again. What's your problem? Shit. I don't care. I've been turning off a few things, the vial production, and it's caused the export. Yeah, I've been switching the export off, and it caused problems with the trains. Okay. You are gonna go sit your ass here till circuit condition. This goes there. That's another thing I'm going to be improving a lot on. The train system is going to get some very powerful improvements out of what I'm going to be doing. Separation, among other things. I'm going to be building finishing the secondary train network. I'm going to have a large haul train and small haul trains, basically. The smaller ones can go somewhat faster, but they carry a lot less. The long haul ones are much more power hungry, but they transport more than 3 times as much cargo. So it's very good for long distances. I could actually make them bigger if I really wanted to, but it's not useful at this point. Right now I'm using the long haulers just for mining, but I'm probably gonna stay that way. The nice thing about building a second city right now, the first city. Building Linux Joe is gonna allow me to make a few interesting things. I'm gonna be rebuilding everything in a sense, except for the existing forges I just rebuilt, because those are in the new style I want to use. The only thing is I'm probably going to build a second one of them, actually. Just finished putting the stone in. The whole thing is actually very interesting if I want to build a single blueprint out of it. It's kind of compact, but relatively easy to move around. There are changes I want to make to a few of the components, but I can make those easy enough when I'm going to build the new generation of storage. It has to do with how things are moving inside storage to make it better. But as it's all blueprint and I'm using the same standards for input and output, it's going to be simple enough. Especially since one is built from the other. Now, okay, this is... So yeah, right now at Linux what I'm doing is I'm building a quadrant-based city. It's, well, not quadrant, but square is the simplest way to say it. I've blueprinted a large number of square blocks onto a piece of land. There's resources under that land. I've given up on extracting it. The land right now is more useful to me than what's under it. The resources are easy to get. This is going to be able to double just by building this city and moving a lot of things into it, I'm going to double the space I have that I can extract resources from outside of the city. So just that will more than make up for what's going to be under it. Actually, some of what's under it will even be extractable. There's some really good oil wells in there, crude oil. I can build inside the city, and they're close enough to each other that making them part of oil processing, which I'm going to be moving here using the blueprint I built. Well, maybe not moving. I might keep the one I'm going to be blueprinting off. Just change a few things to it. Mostly the fact I'm going to be using long haul trains now for materials to get into it. Is there something blocked here again? Yeah, but it's because this is okay. Yeah, I'm going to be using the same blueprint. Alright. For oil processing, the one I'm using right now does a number of things. It processes and stores the 3 main petroleum products I use. It makes plastic, and it makes solid fuel, which is used for further processing to make rockets. And it outputs the 2 main, well, actually 2 only ones I use outside of oil processing itself. Let's go fix that. Which is, for simplicity's sake, I just call petroleum gas and heavy oil. It's much more complicated than that, but I don't care. Okay, there's something I need to take care of. I'll be back in a few minutes.